Good evening. Today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. This is a regular session of the Board of the School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:04 p.m. The place, School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. And this is also being streamed live on www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. The first item that we have is our roll call. Ms. Bigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Present.
Trustee Gomez?
Present.
Trustee Williams?
Present.
Trustee Smith?
Present.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Present. Prior to standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to just take a moment to have a moment of silence for one of our Cardinal family members, Mr. Robert Doctor from our Human Resource Department, passed away this last week.
April 8th.
April 8th. And we wanted to acknowledge just his dedication and hard work to the SEC community. So if we can please have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, we will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is an approval of an agenda. Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. The next item that we have is presentation, and Dr. Finley.
Good evening, everyone. We have two presentations tonight. We're going to start with the IT department and Information Technology Department, no acronyms, and then we're going to go right into Lincoln Elementary's presentation. It's just a highlight of things that they're working on this year and as they're transitioning into the next school year.
Thank you, Dr. Finley. Good evening, school board, public. Today's presentation is going to be on the Instructional Technology Department. My name is George Ontiveros. I am the director. We are going to go, if you look at the slide, we have 12 members in our team. Within this team, we have subgroups which pretty much do certain things in technology. We sometimes think technology is it's like a general one tool for everyone, but unfortunately it is not. So we have multiple staff members that actually do certain things within the technology group. So the first introduction will be our Orchestrum. He's our network engineer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about the projects we've accomplished this school year, on the back end or the network side. First is email phishing campaigns. Is everybody familiar with what a phishing email is? Basically, it's something sent out from a bad person trying to get personal information from you, and they're trying to trick you. So what we do is we generate our own now, and we send out simulated phishing emails to see if our users fall for the attack or if they actually report it to us.
That's good.
Yeah. So if they do fall for the attack and they click on the link, it takes them to a landing page which kind of raises their awareness of the phishing email and kind of educates them on how to avoid becoming a victim. So it schools them in the error of their ways, so to speak. Next, we did a Rico Refresh of all our Rico equipment. So all the printers in the district were replaced. This took about a month and a half, and we also replaced the district print server. So this gives us now the most up-to-date hardware and software from Rico. So we're all set there. Then we've also installed an additional firewall on our network. This firewall gives us two benefits. One, it prevents a bottleneck by splitting our network traffic between the two firewalls, and it helps to ensure a more consistent and reliable speed and performance for our district. And it also provides redundancy or a backup. So if for some reason maybe one of them go down, we can always reroute the traffic from one to another, and we keep the district up and working. And the final project is the Meraki access point refresh for our wireless network. And this is ongoing now, but most of the work will be finished in the summer. And most of our access points now are getting near end of life, which means support will be going away in a few years. So we're going to start with the biggest school, which is Central High School, and replace those. And then as the years go on, we'll get all of them replaced. And then this should also help our network performance immensely. So, and that's all from the network side. Next is the desktop side.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Crary. I'm the manager of the desktop group. I'd like to point out some of the projects that we have done for the summer of 2021. I'd like to also point out that the numbers you see up here were done under a very tight timeline. And we did actually accomplish this about 3 weeks ahead of schedule. We still had some of our new line boards going out into the school year, but we were well ahead of schedule here. And this included the receiving the freight, breaking down the freight, the unboxing, assembly, and configuration of all these devices you see up here in this slide. 4,800 Chromebooks, brand new. What's not listed there was also an existing 4,200 Chromebooks that we already had in fold, 600 brand new iPads, 450 administration staff laptops and desktop computers, 260 new line boards. The 200 Promethean boards were already existing. These are devices that were repurposed in many cases at the schools. We're using them for a variety of different tasks now. The device configuration, repair and logistics, getting everything into place when it needed to be there by the start of school. That includes carts in every classroom at the grade school level, the take-home devices as well for all the primary students. Stay-at-home, those were the stay-at-home devices, I'm sorry, and the take-home devices for the high school and middle school. And the end-user support is ongoing as well. So that's briefly just an outline of the things we've done. As I said, ongoing support for all these devices and staff. And that's about it. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Navarro. I am the District Instructional Technology Coach. I specifically work with instructional technology and curriculum. I have been with the system for 24 years, 17 years in the classroom, and 5 years as an instructional coach, 2 years as my current position. And my responsibilities include working with teachers, with students, with parents, with the entire faculty and staff, certified and uncertified, district leaders, department heads, pretty much everybody in the system, you name it, I've worked with them and I sit with them, we coordinate, we plan, we work together, basically to establish and maintain our instructional technology, our instructional software, and any type of assessments that we do within the system. I troubleshoot with them, I work with them to help them to make sure that they're ready within their classrooms and make sure our leaders are ready within their meetings and in their buildings. As far as instructional and curriculum software, we do implementation and integration for pre-K through 12th grade classrooms. And I work very hard with my technology department and our curriculum department to make sure we bridge the gap so that nobody's left behind and everybody works together and everybody understands what each other needs. I also work with professional development with the instructional leaders to make sure that we have what we need for our teachers and our staff, as far as it could be anywhere within our student management system, our technology, our software, our curriculum, our assessments, and our instruction. These are not all, but majority of every type of instructional and curriculum software that we work with and that we manage here within our district. So, as far as this year is concerned, this past year, we fully implemented new software, lots of new software. So I do want to thank the board for allowing us to purchase this software for our teachers. For example, Kami, Nearpod are tools that our teachers were using. Also, to be able to incorporate that within our classrooms was a big help to many of our teachers. We also included the integration of all software through Clever, single sign-on, along with our SIS team, which you'll hear from shortly. Did a big helpful hand in making sure that we could have this ready for our teachers and for our staff members to use. We also continue to do professional development throughout the entire year. We did district professional development. We have also worked with individual schools with our building tech coordinators to make sure they were able to provide professional development for our teachers as well. In spring, summer of 2022, we are hopefully going to have a full integration of all of our software into Clever. It's been a process, but we would like to have everything as single sign-on. It's just working with the companies to make sure that that's established. Vector Solutions implementation as well. We are hoping that that will be up and running before the end of the year is out for next year, so that we could use that within our professional development, PD tracking, and our safe schools. And I will continue to work with our curriculum directors so that we can implement more professional development throughout the upcoming year. New teacher orientation is on, and so is back to school. Thank you, and now our SIS team.
Hi, my name is Andy Capitan. I'm in charge of the student information systems and data. Our district, we are the district administrators for our student information software, which is Skyward. This system is used to manage student records, which include enrollment, registration, schedules, attendance, grades, discipline. This also provides online access for our families, for their students' information, and also for registration for school, because we're making a big push this year to get everybody registered for the next school year. So that's been a real big push here at this district, and it's working out very well. Also, we're the administrative support for the instructional and state testing that is used throughout the district, such as iReady, iLearn, also all the instructional software that you see that Ms. Shell talked about. We also set up and manage Skylar, which is a new system that provides notifications to parents and staff via phone, email, and text. We work with the Indiana DOE and other school districts on developing best practices which will improve the efficiency and effectiveness throughout the district. We find by working with other districts of similarity, size, and so on, we have a lot of meetings and all that. We kind of put our brains together and say, you know what, we're all kind of going the same way, so what are you doing? And it's really a great collaboration. And we also started this year, it's actually the last 2 years, but this year, Data Exchange. Data Exchange is the new state reporting system, which replaces the old, where you had to upload files constantly. Basically, this takes the data directly from our student information system and uploads it to the state, which is used for state reporting, also state testing. It's kind of its infancy, so there's been a lot of things that had to be done this year, also by the DOE and also by Skyward, and it's a very learning process. but it's moving along relatively well, and I do like the direction this is going because it creates a seamless database. What this also tells us is that with Skyward, how important that data is, because that's our source of truth. Whatever goes into the Skyward system, that's going to feed all the ways down to the state for testing, for reports, and it actually comes back to us and reflects money too, because that's where our membership and all that comes from. The other thing that we do is we introduced single sign-on, or SSO, by using Clever. We also use Clever for our rostering. The single sign-on, what this does, this is a very efficient project because it enables students and teachers to click on once and put in their one-time login, and then they could access all that other instructional software you see on the side there. So instead of logging into different software at different time and putting in, remember all these different user IDs and passwords, one shot. So that's a real advantage and a time saver. So projects we have, we're doing our online registration and new student online enrollment portals for the school year 2023. We're working on this. We really want to improve our registration and our online enrollment to make sure that we get all the possible students that we can into the system. We're updating for Skyward for summer school. So we set up this, we work with the schools on the master schedules for KG through 8, provide data and communities, data for different processing, and also the Lilly grant. We also played a significant role in the implementation of Edmonton, which is the online learning solution that we introduced in spring of 2022. And of course, we're going to continue our work with Clever rostering and SSO to improve the efficiency. I want to just kind of sum up what the IT department does. The future of education is combining the power of great teachers, great technology to provide the best possible education for every student. Thank you, and I'll close with a picture of our team.
Any questions? I don't know if you can tell the Legos on the bottom, we're kind of asked everyone if they're a unique Lego that corresponds to them, so.
It's cute. I have two questions.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I know it's one me. So the SIS team, the text messenger, so I know I've received a lot of phone calls and I've seen all over Facebook, how do you get this, how do you do that? Are we teaching parents as they sign up how to sign up for that? Because I know, or can we put a video or something? Because that is like the most asked about question I've seen.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges we have in the district is disseminating that information, because I know the phone calls are great, but after you get them 10 times a week, they're not so great, right?
I'm guilty.
So there's information on the webpage, but I know we're trying to think of marketing that part, because we've had that part for over a year. It's just I don't think we're marketing it as well as we should, as opposed to just keeping it on the webpage. But that's something that we're gonna be working on, definitely, to get that text part working.
And then what I did notice, I know it's, some people who are savvy with text messaging, you could get the text message and translate it on your own. But what are we doing for families that only read in Spanish?
Yeah, ironically, the software that we do have translates. We haven't got to that point yet. We're still trying to, I don't know if you've received some of the texts. Some of the texts are still a little strange, but we're trying to work through that. And once we solidify the English part, we're going to start pushing the Spanish part.
Good to know. Second question, the single sign-on. So I'm in like 2 technology classes and they tell us all the time the worst thing to do is to have one sign-on. So my question, what are we doing on the back end? Is that just anti-malware to make sure that it's just, we have protection because a single sign-on we're more vulnerable to,
Well, I think maybe the misconception is, one login, one password will get you into the other programs. Maybe that's what it looks like on the front end, but it's not. So the encryption or the product that we use, Clever, has their back-end encryption where, they're able to solidify that. So, yeah, that's a little misconception, but it's not a good idea to keep your passwords underneath your keyboard or on your, exactly what you're saying, then you'll get phished, yeah, so.
that was, I don't know if anyone else has questions.
I do have one. Hey, George, I do have one question, and I'm just going to piggyback off of President with regards to having some sort of video, just sort of explaining in terms of how to use it, whether it's text messaging or accessing our SCEC portal. And I know that probably one of the easiest thing is to do is maybe to create some sort of QR code, because everyone has a cell phone, right? And they can always click on it, go straight to that video, just to make it more user-friendly for parents.
Sure, we'll put on notes, and maybe before I forget, I know Jeremy's in the back, but he is working on a new webpage. So these assets that we're gonna be trying to install on the new webpage should be all there. So we are upgrading that, hopefully July 1st.
And
or
thank
that's
you.
our date.
Thank you guys all for coming and what you're doing for our department. I just saw, or for School City of East Chicago in general, but I just saw what you guys are working on for our meetings, and the fact that now they're gonna scroll the agenda items with the meetings. You guys have really changed the technology that we use here, and, I thank you guys for that. And especially during COVID, you guys really came through for us, and thank you for all the hardworking hours. And I'm sure we bug, because I know I remember bugging you guys all day, every day, but you guys do a great job, so thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we're going to have Lincoln, but I also wanted to say, as it was specifically to Mr. Creary's statement about breaking down the crates, getting things out of the boxes. So at a future date, I'll be coming to you to ask for summer interns to be able to support some of their work. You're welcome. But that satisfies their work-based learning activities, which is important for them on their pathway for graduation. So just wanted to say that to the group as well.
Thanks.
Okay, next we'll have Lincoln Elementary. We have our principal and our assistant principal. I'll have them introduce themselves.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Sharp. I'm principal of Lincoln Elementary School, and this is my assistant, Charles Podgorny. I'm just going to go over some of our main goals that we have at Lincoln School for school improvement planning. We have 3 focus areas. Our first area is on, of course, instruction and curriculum, proficiency, and growth. So under proficiency and growth, we work with teachers on developing our curriculum maps and assessments for instructional purposes, make sure that everything is coordinated with our state standards. We also do training for the teachers, make sure they're updated on research-based practices. And also, we have focused in on our STEM initiative to make sure that we are STEM certified. Our second area was on social emotional learning. With this, we're putting practices into place with our teachers, providing professional development, and also monitoring the SEL strategies. Our third area is area of focus is on our special ed group. We focus in on this group at Lincoln because that is a targeted area identified by the state of Indiana for Lincoln School. So we want to make sure that we're targeting that group of children to make sure that they are progressing where they need to be. So some of the things that we're doing, a big, huge piece is really getting kids in, to work into the gen ed classrooms more often and really monitoring that progress and their data. And I'll go into just a couple of it in a minute. So some of our current data that we have at Lincoln School, this is all of our iReady data, which is given 3 times a year. Currently, we've only been able to get the beginning of year and the middle of the year. We have yet to assess at the end of the year, which that'll be coming up here in May. So if you look at the colors, we want the yellow is on grade, students on grade level, and the green would be students that are on or above grade level. And so, and the orange and the red is below level. So what we want is our kids moving upward from beginning of year to middle of the year. And so we've been doing a pretty good job with our students and our teachers about getting those kids, getting their growth in for the middle of the year. So this is basically like 1 semester worth of growth. So this is where we're at with our reading. Our math, again, we're seeing nice progress, moving those kids at or above grade level and reducing those students that are below level. This is our special ed group. Same thing, we are slowly moving them toward improvement and growth. This is for reading. And this is our data for math specifically for our special ed group. So something I want to point out from our first focus area is our STEM initiative. So we've really worked hard in partnering and getting kids to practice real-world experiences. And so some of the partnerships that we've had, first of all, is Project Lead the Way. We have a STEM teacher at Lincoln, I think most schools do, and she has really implemented our Project Lead the Way this year. So that's a new initiative. And so that's for all classes, kindergarten through 6th grade. And so the STEM teacher has been implementing that program. It's really a great hands-on learning program for the kids where they really make projects and really get their thinking skills going and really the kids enjoy it. And you can see a picture of a little girl, this is part of Project Lead the Way where they're trying to see how tall they can build something using the different items. Our other partnerships that we have are Dunes Learning Center, U.S. Forestry Department, and Department of Defense. And you can see some of the projects that we have going on this year. We were able to plant our school pollinator garden this last fall. So we can already see some of the sprouts coming up here in the spring, so we're really excited about that. Star-based learning, citizen science, canoe-mobile. Our kids went to day camp, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders we were hoping to go camping this year, but because of COVID and situation, that we were a little concerned about that. So they did a full day campsite where they went from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, and they had a full day camp of activities. That was a lot of fun for the kids, and they learned a lot. We had a STEM week where the Dunes Learning Center actually came into the building for a whole week and worked with students in the STEM class. And we also have some summer camp opportunities if our kids would like to sign up for those. The other one is inclusion. We have been increasing our general ed class time, and we've also been trying to increase those services within the gen ed setting for some of our special needs students. Lincoln School, if you don't know, we do house and service to all of the special ed students. So like the moderate and severe students, our emotional disability students, as well as speech and SEL and so forth, or SLD. So we're doing a lot of co-teaching and buddy classes. Because of COVID, we have some kids that are kind of fragile medically, so we've been doing a lot of online where they read together, they partner with the teacher through Zoom, and they're able to read and participate and talk to each other on Zoom on a daily basis. We also partnered with Purdue Northwest and IUN. This last fall, we had like 13 Purdue candidates actually come in and work with our students to get experience in the classroom. So that was a great experience for both our students and for potential teachers. And I'll take the social emotional, I'll give to Mr. Podgorny.
So at Lincoln Elementary School, students have been taught the 7 Indiana Department of Education social emotional learning competencies. That includes insight, regulation, collaboration, connection, critical thinking, and mindset. And what we do is we have a monthly PD with teachers, and from there, teachers pass this on to students through activities, group circles, and read-alouds that relate back to each competency. As of right now, since we're at the end of the year, they're to practice all 7 competencies in their classroom. Oh, sorry. Along with that, our school social worker is utilized on a daily basis. Their duties include classroom presentations, small group support, individual student support, and conflict resolution. They also work with families who sign up for services through our Family Cafe. Through our social worker and the truancy officer, the Family Cafe is utilized to provide services to parents that help make ends meet and make sure that kids have what they need and they can have the resources to show up to school and succeed. We also utilize counselors from Infinity Counseling and Wellness Center. As of right now, we've had 22 students sign up and 1 staff member. This is an outside agency that has been brought into the schools this year. The best thing about this is not only do they provide the students with support, but some of the counselors have also been able to implement full family service counseling. Piggybacking off of that, attendance, right now our current school attendance rate is at 94%. This is up 15% from the previous year, which was 81%, and it's up 4% from the 2019-2020 school year. Huge factor into this is school being back in session, as well as having a full-time truancy officer. Our officer, Enrique Perez, he's consistently mailing home letters, conducting parent meetings weekly and on an as-needed basis, as well as conducting numerous home visits throughout the city. And then finally, for multi-tiered support systems, our Dean of Students, Darrell Tinner, has had a restorative discipline approach with students that focuses on building relationships and learning lessons from their previous actions. He provides students, teachers, and families with multiple ways of support on a daily basis. Some examples include classroom aid, conflict resolution with students and their families, lunch meetings, and daily check-ins with students who may need extra support. And that's it.
All righty, I think that concludes. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to the business portion of the meeting. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes 2/22/2022, minutes 3/7/2022, minutes 6/17/2020, minutes 7/6/2020, minutes 7/22/2020. Is there a motion for the agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 2, approval of claim docket. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 3, approval of personnel reports. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? My only question to you, with the resignations, the continuous resignations of certain departments, are we getting a 2-week notice at least? I mean, I'm disappointed to know that there's just people in our community, who live in our community, don't even care to give a 2-week notice. I'm assuming. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, you would be correct in saying that we've not received some 2 week notices for employees. Sometimes it's 1 week, maybe it's a couple of days, depending on the situation. But no, that standard practice and policy or just standard alone and just professionalism is not necessarily being adhered to.
Okay. I guess it really bothers me, one of the people I kind of fought against from getting the position, because I thought we didn't follow procedure properly, and then now they're leaving us a couple months later. But I guess my caveat question to that is, we cannot do any exit interviews then, I'm assuming? I'm sure.
Yeah, we could. We probably could for this one employee just any employee at this point, because we do have the bandwidth to be able to do that, but not sometimes if they don't respond to our request.
Okay.
You can't make them, so to speak.
Got it. Are there any other questions from the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Williams?
was that that response that you gave, was that just a response from you, Trustee Hernandez Orange, about exit interviews in regards to resignations? I know in the past we had asked the HR department to, when we receive resignations, to start doing an exit questionnaire or just trying to get information in regards to it. My wife is a banker, and her HR department does when you get a resignation or someone to quit or leave, they kind of ask some general questions in regards to try to get a feel of the reasoning for people leaving. Are we doing anything of that sort, or was that the question that you had just asked?
I know at one point we tried to do that from my understanding.
But that's what I'm saying. Was that the response you gave in regards to we can't make them do it if, okay. I didn't hear your question, Trustee Orange, so I didn't know if that was your question in regards to that. And if are we practicing that in our HR department?
Well, it's something that we need to do. It's almost like we need to have an onboarding process and an exiting process, which we'll get to probably later on the agenda, and I'll add a little bit additional context to that.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Madam President, this is more of a comment than a question, but
Trustee Richards.
to my understanding, employees, and this is going to Joe Harris, this is going to be my question to Joe Harris, if an employee is exiting or is leaving their employment here, is it a 2 weeks notice? Is that what they're signed up for per contract, or how does that work?
They're not required. That's a professional courtesy to provide 2 weeks' notice, but no, they're not required to. We couldn't hold their last paycheck as a, condition of providing 2 weeks' notice or even participating in an exit interview. It's just, I think that the school corporation is due that, and I think there should be enough professional courtesy on the part of anyone who has the privilege of working here to just provide that at a minimum.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes, item number 4, approval of distribution of payroll. Is there a motion for approval for the agenda?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 5, approval of donations. Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I second that
Trustee
motion.
Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
I was saying this was submitted by one of our teachers. But I know at some point in time that they wasn't here. Are they back in the district working?
The donation? Yeah. Never resigned.
No?
No,
Okay.
never resigned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I'm sorry, Trustee Williams, what was your question?
I just was wondering if this person was still on staff with the district.
I did have one question. I'm seeing the donations, but who do we submit the donations to? I mean, I'm seeing what they're for, but is there a person that's going to receive these? I mean, who's the person? Miss Alexander, do they submit the donations to her, or is there, okay,
Yes, that is correct. You will submit it to the teacher who's making the request.
okay.
Are there any more questions?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange?
Yes. Item number 6, approval of fundraisers. Is there a motion for approval for the agenda?
Madam President.
Item, sorry. Trustee
Madam-
Rodriguez.
Make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms.
Trustee-
Bigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange?
Yes. Item number 7, approval of GO Bond 2022. Is there a motion for approval for this agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Can we,
If we could.
yeah.
If we could have an overview of this topic.
Correct.
And then also, tonight is a night that's set aside for public hearing, so we want to make sure we open up the floor to allow anyone who's present who'd like to speak on this topic, they can do so. I believe we also have Mr. Shanahan here, if he wants to provide any insight as to the bond as well.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to defer to our CFO, Ms. Simmons, to give an overview about the bond, and then I'm pretty sure we'll have to have you, Mr. Shannon, as well.
Okay, we're currently going out for a GO bond for some repairs that we need to do in the district. As everyone knows, we did receive ESSER funds, but we do have extensively a lot of repairs to take care of. So at this time, we feel like that our debt level is low, that we are available to go out for debt and not do any damage to anything else. So we want to have the GO bond in place, do extra capital projects that need to be taken care of within the next year, making sure all schools are getting the correct HVAC systems put in and different other things we need to do to make sure everybody is getting into the school safely.
Mr. Shanahan, did you want to add, or?
Well, you've got 3 resolutions for your consideration tonight.
If you could, thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
You have 3 resolutions in your packet for your consideration tonight following the public hearing. The purpose of the public hearing is to give the public information about the projects, the cost of the projects, and also to provide any input that they may have, either for or against, or just ask questions. And then following the public hearing, the first resolution is a project resolution that sets forth the parameters and the cost estimates. The second is a bond resolution, which authorizes the issuance of the bonds. And the third is an appropriation resolution, which is more of an accounting practice to give you the approval in your existing appropriations to spend the bond proceeds on the costs. As far as the debt goes, every once in a while you issue GO bonds as your practice, and you also pay them off very fast. So that allows you to minimize your interest costs while still attacking the various capital needs you have over time.
Are there any questions from the board first, for Mr. Shanahan or Ms. Simmons? So now we'll just open up to public. If they have any questions, you feel free to come to the mic and ask in regards to the GO bond. If there's anyone We have any questions? Okay. Yeah. Public hearing is not concluded. Next, we'll move to Ms. Right. Now we'll go back to the motion. Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 9, approval of food service director job description, Dr. Finley. I'm
Before we
sorry.
go there, we've got 8.
8.
Yep, we just approved 7. 8,
Oh.
same topic.
Oh, you know what, and I did, sorry. Number 8, approval of 2022 Go Bond Resolution, Dr. Finley.
We're requesting that the board approves, you approved the GO bond, so thank you. But this is the resolution, as Mr. Shanahan just shared with you. We should give an overview as to what this bond resolution is as well. I'm going to defer to Attorney Harris.
All right, Mr. Shanahan alluded to this in his overview. There are 2 additional resolutions that go along with the actual GO bond itself. There's a project resolution and an additional appropriation resolution. The project resolution kind of spells out what these funds would be used for, and the additional appropriation resolution authorizes the district to move forward with expending those funds for that particular purpose. Mr. Shanahan, is there anything you wanted to elaborate on in terms of the specifics for those 2 resolutions?
No, that's a good overview.
So now I can just ask for a motion.
Do we also need to have public comment on that one too, Mr. Shanahan?
No extraordinary public comment other than what your standard practice is for actions.
Okay.
So then, motion. Okay.
Before you start,
Yes.
can I read
Sure.
what it says? That's just so the public is aware, and then maybe we can go to public comment, if that's okay? Okay, so I will read it for you. So I'm on the 1028 project resolution, whereas on April the 6th, 2022, and April 13th, the Board of School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago published a notice of a public hearing in accordance with Indiana law. And whereas on April 18th, the board held a public hearing for the purpose of answering questions and listening to taxpayers' comments and any evidence they may present about the proposed separate and independent capital projects throughout the district, including but not limited to renovations and improvements at the high school and acquisition of technology and equipment, renovations and improvements at the middle school, and the acquisition of technology and equipment, also known as the Middle Schools Project, and renovations and improvements at the elementary schools and acquisition of technology and equipment. And whereas the board has carefully studied all of the known options and feels that the proposed projects are in the best interest of the present and future students to be served by this facility, now therefore be it resolved that the projects will be constructed for the purpose of providing an improved educational program and environment for students. Be it further resolved that the project hard and soft cost of the projects is $7.89 million and project's cost of issuance is $110,000, resulting in an estimated cost of the project of $8 million, the project cost. Be it further resolved that the project costs are anticipated to be funded by general obligation bonds, also known as the GO bonds, issued by the school corporation with an anticipated maximum impact of the debt service tax, of the fund tax rate of 18 cents per $100 assessed, valuation on an estimated $2 billion certified net asset valuation in 2023. That's our facilities, and that's what our things cost. That's what we have in asset value. So at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Attorney Harris to now open it with Trustee Orange, President Orange, rather, for comment.
We will now open it to the public to see if they would like to say, again, this is solely to discuss the GO bond. And further, just want to reiterate that we went out for this bond for the many projects that have to be done. We met our assessment team of Schmidt Associates ended up coming, showing all the technological needs, the building needs, et cetera, to make our schools, I guess, safe and with concerns of staff as well. So, Ms. Patty Gibson?
Yes, hi, Patty Gibson King. This is my first hearing about the GO bond. And once again, we are being told here in a meeting about something that we can get up and speak to, which we have no knowledge firsthand. And we would also like to have a copy of what you just read, Mrs. Finley, pertaining to what it is that you're speaking about. And what's the young man's name here that's over this? Do you have a card? We'd like to get one of your cards to know who you are. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments?
Wasn't this posted, Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was posted in the newspaper and
Yes, we have a timeline that we had to adhere to. If we don't adhere to that timeline, Mr. Shanahan can't be here this evening to follow through with our portions and parts that we have to do. But you're absolutely correct. This is in support of the $146 million worth of work that we have found that we need to work on in School City of Chicago, where only $9 million of the dollars that we have in ESSER can specifically be addressed to support HVAC. And there are lots of other needs that are, I mean, you can look in our building right here, lots of other needs that we have to address in the district. So thank you.
I'm sorry, Dr. Finley, one more time, could you give those numbers again, just so the public can hear those numbers? You said that there was $147 million worth of work.
$146 million worth of work throughout, that needs to be completed throughout the entire School City of East Chicago district.
But we only have funds of how much? Can you please repeat that again?
We have a total of $9 million that is allocated by the state and from ESSER funds for us to be able to complete an HVAC system. I will give you an example. The HVAC system at Block, I believe, cost about $14 million. That's one building. That doesn't include Central, that doesn't include the elementaries, nor the preschool, the administration building, or nor the facilities location right now.
And just to add, I know, Ms. Simmons, we went for GO bond 2 years ago?
19 was our last GO bond.
So we've gone through the process before and we've, just so we could overview of, and I know we've done this before, but once it's actually given out and announced, it discusses public hearing that needs to be done or public comment added. Am I correct in saying
Yeah,
that?
this is the normal process, but this is a little bit of a unique situation in that there are ESSER funds that are available that Dr. Finley was referring to. And this all relates back to the recommendation of Schmidt and Associates that was at a prior meeting that identified that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the district, a lot more work than the actual money that we have. Just under the leadership of Dr. Finley and this school board, they're saying, hey, let's use this opportunity to go out for this bond, to pair it with those ESSER funds so that we can put a dent into the district's needs, which far outweighs what we have, that $146 million, but it will allow us to accomplish many of the things that are on that list, and it's my understanding that the board has decided that anything that can't be funded through the ESSER funds or the funding that'll be created through this bond, that it'll be included in a capital improvement project going forward over the course of the next several years. And that's the overall picture of what they're doing here tonight.
Or not be done, and that's why we're in the same boat. We're 20 years later, Central High School doesn't have HVAC.
That was the point that I was trying to make. So you made it very clear that $146 million worth of work versus $8 million that we have funded, we still $138 million of work that still needs to be done. So I wanted the public to know that exact amount. So I think Jill gave a great overview of what it is that we still needs to have done. So thank you, Dr. Finley. And
I'm not sure, I haven't researched this on our website, I have not, but the assessment, well, the documents that were done by Schmidt and Associates, where he presented to the board and to the public, is it possible to put that on our website, just so that when people want to come and see why and what we need money for, we could say, this is what it is?
Absolutely.
And maybe leave just a paper copy also, in the front for our administration, in our administration building, just so everyone could always know what we have going
Trustee
on.
Orange, they also did a presentation here for the school board twice.
Right, and I know it was on ECTV News, so we've seen it plenty of times, but
Okay.
let's just make sure we get everything out as much as
Alrighty.
possible.
And let it be known that ESSER fund does not cover all
not
of
have-
this.
You're correct.
People think $14 million is a lot of money. When you have 7 or 8 schools that are not falling down, but need update. Everybody needs update. All of our schools needs update. So this is not something that we're just pushing. This is something that is badly needed in our district in order for our children and our teachers to be safe. And, they complain about this, they complain about that. If we can't get the bond, the ESSER's money only gonna cover certain projects. So this is badly needed in our schools. So that's the reason why we're pushing for this bond.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, I don't even think we received a motion for the adjustment. Oh, I'm sorry, is there anyone else from the public who wants to speak? Okay, so that's closed. Public hearing is now closed for that. Now we also need an approval, a motion for the approval of the 2020 Go Bond resolutions.
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez.
I make a motion to approve.
Thank
And
you.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion, and Trustee Rodriguez made the motion. And is there any more questions? We did a little bit backwards. Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 9, approval of food service director job description. Dr. Finley.
We need a food service director, and this is the job description that we need to reinstate. We've had one, I want to say someone said in 2008, and when we moved towards having an organization, a food service management company, providing us with those services and supports for our students, as far as meals are concerned, we did away with that position. According to state law, we have to have a food service director. If we contract out for a food service management company or not, we need to have someone fulfill this role to make sure that our students are getting what they need portion-wise, to make sure that everything is running efficiently as far as the food service is concerned, sanitation, equipment. So there's a lot of things that go along with this. So I'm seeking your approval tonight.
Is there a motion for approval of this agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I noticed this looks like it's a one-year contract, is that correct?
No, it's just like every other position that we have. It's just it's a year-round employee when you see 12 months. It's a permanent position for the district.
So to my understanding, I mean, every new hire it's sort of a teacher contract, which is actually 2 years, correct?
Not necessarily.
No.
No.
So this position here is a permanent position that we would have in the district, just like my position or superintendent's position or Ms. Pohl's position. This position is a 12-month employee, and when they come on, as far as, I think I understand what you're saying, Trustee Rodriguez, is that we normally give a 2-year contract when they come in as a director. So it will not be put up on a teacher's contract. They are actually put on a standing contract for directors. So the 2-year is just a standard that we do as far as coming in with our directors. I understand what you're saying on that one. Yes.
I don't think I'm clear yet, then. Is this for 1 year or 2 years?
When we enter into this agreement with this individual, it won't be a 1 year that you're coming in with a 2-year contract. You're coming in as an employee until you, A, decide that you don't want to work for the district anymore, or B, we decide to terminate that relationship.
So it's a 1-year contract?
It's an employee. They're not going to.
No, it's
not the
not
same.
I understand.
It's not the
What
same.
we have in front of us is
essentially a contract, though.
No, it's a job
It's a
description.
job description.
That's all.
Okay.
It's just a job
Is-
description.
Okay, then let me rephrase.
Okay.
Then the actual job will be a 2-year job upon hire, or 1 year?
It's a
Because the
12
job description shows for 1 year. I don't have my,
If I could interject, I think it's just confusing the way it's written. I really think it should just say full-time or permanent, as opposed
yeah,
to anything. I think that's
exactly.
really what it should say.
Yeah.
So the reason why it says a 12-month employee, because we are a school district, and there's a misunderstanding of school districts only work 11 months. So we don't want to bring someone in believing that they're only going to work 11 months. This is a full-time position for 12 months, not 11 months. That's the reason why it states on the job description as a 12-month job. If you see other job descriptions here in the district, some of them say 11 month. Just like our athletic director no longer says that. There is teachers, there are different employees that says 11 month. So we have to put it in writing that they will work 12 months and not 11 months. So that's the reason why it's stated on the job description that way, just to like, if we have it on the other job descriptions, that will state 11-month employee.
I might be wrong in saying this, Trustee Gomez, but I think so yes, we do understand it's a year-to-year contract, but again, the question is, because it's always been that directors come in with a 2-year automatically, that's past practice, correct? There's no need there's nothing that states legally that those individuals, so then, at the end of the day, how do you let go of someone if we're not satisfied? If they have a year to year. So do they do a evaluation? Are they staying on until we say no? Like, how does that, am I correct in kind of?
well, yeah, I think at the very top, it says that
The
it's
22.
Yeah, and I think that's what Attorney Harris was referring to, if we could clean that up, because I don't see why the job description is just for that year. Yeah, okay, then we're good.
Full-time position.
Thank you, yes. Yeah, full-time.
I understand what you're saying. Just
I was confused, so I'm
I
sorry.
apologize. So just to clarify, this is what I think I hear, just so everybody's clear. On our job description, it does say 22, 23. And then when you go to the bottom, it does say that it's a 12-month position. So is that person just working on that 12-month? So we need to clean this up and add on here that it's a full-time position. But their cycle, they're required to work 12 months out of the year.
And correct, and that
Got it.
could be stated on their contract instead of the.
And that was to my point that I was going to make. I think we kind of jumping the gun in regards to this because we're actually just approving the
description.
job description.
Yes.
The contract will further come at a later date that we will have to make a decision, or the superintendent will make a decision on the actual contract of this person that being hired under the same job description.
That is correct.
So realistically speaking, that 22, 23 school year doesn't even need to be on there.
No.
Exactly.
What I would recommend, though, is at the bottom, like in a footer, including last modified April 18th, 2022, as opposed to the 2022-23 school year.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
With the modifications, yes.
Okay.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 10, approval of special education data/records and compliance coordinator job description. Dr. Finley.
We're seeking approval tonight for a position in the special ed department, where this individual will oversee data records and the compliance coordinator. This will help in the efficient running of the special ed department pertaining to students and staff.
Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President?
Trustee Williams.
Dr. Finley, do we know of, is this a new position very new position. Do we have anyone doing this job in the special ed department?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So this will be an additional person add to that department, just going to specify and do just this data information, the data entry.
This person is specifically going to do this specific job and this specific task.
Okay.
Is this position something that the state requires? I mean, the position, the job description?
Yes, it is.
Yes, this is where we were talking about the tracking of the students as they enroll into our school district. Given the current climate, you heard the Student Information Management System team talking about this earlier, with our change in how we actually draw down students and we have to find students now. Sometimes we don't know if they have an IEP. So this person specifically will go into another system that we have to find out if they have an IEP. Because what happens is this: if we don't know where those students are, A, we're breaking the law, and B, it impacts us financially. So we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence for our students to make sure that they get the supports they need to be in the classroom successfully. And this also is a support to our staff so they'll know how to be able to best meet the needs of our students.
And they monitor the IEPs through the systems? Okay. got it.
Yes, that'll be that's a full-time job.
I see.
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just as a follow-up to Trustee Williams' comment, so this is going to be a full-time position. Excuse me, but I think his question was what happens to the individual who's performing this function now? Is that correct?
Yes, is that what you're asking, Mr. Williams?
Yes, somewhat. I was
Okay.
just wondering, like, I think we talked about this in an exec session as well. So I think I think I had the answer then. I think I just was bringing it to the forefront that was the reason and why we were bringing this position, is to kind of take off the load of someone else doing it. And we had somebody specifically getting these IEPs and all the information that we needed from other districts if a kid transferred in.
Yes, we do have someone that's already doing the work, but this position has not been approved.
Right.
That's what we're seeking from you tonight.
And then as the follow-up, the other individual will continue employment in the special ed department?
Yes, it's the same, this person will continue to be in the special ed department, yes.
Okay.
It doesn't go to operations, it stays right in special ed.
And I'm referring to the person that's doing this job now.
Yes, we're referring to the same person.
Okay. So we're going to have one additional full-time position, keeping the individual, in addition to keeping that individual who's performing this job now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's one person. We have someone currently doing this job. This person is not doing this. She's doing the job, but the job has not been approved. She's been doing the job since summer of 2021.
Okay, so this is going to be her new job description? then?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 11, approval of human resource consultant Rex Mudge. Dr. Finley.
Yes, this is, now that with the untimely departure and death of Mr. Doctor, we find ourselves in a situation where we need to get some additional support. So we are seeking your approval tonight after corresponding with our attorney as well as an individual, Rex Mudge, to be able to come in to help us complete the following tasks. One of them relates to our staff handbook. That's one thing that we want him to work on. The other relates to documenting, as we're sitting here talking about onboarding and exiting of staff. That individual will help us with that onboarding process that we were talking about earlier. So he will actually help with that. The other one is We do have Ms. Ms. Martinez, who's still working in the district with us, and she retired in September. He'll actually come alongside her to help document some of our processes that we have in HR, so that as we make these transitions, as we are all aware, we can get from point A to point B without having to worry about contracting out individuals as they retire from positions. So he's going to help us with that work.
Is there a motion for approval for this agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I just want to say that Trustee Williams, from day one, has always stated about the process of hiring, and I'm glad that we're hiring someone who's going to specifically work towards that. Many of the items that we deal with as a school board members all has to do with a process, all has to do with the policy, and Trustee Williams, from day one, has always said the process, what's the process, and so thanks for keep pushing for that, and there you go, now you got it. Is there any other questions?
I just want to make it clear that I did see where it says it was not a renewal clause is unnecessary, so he's just like monitoring, correct?
No, he's going to.
Mentoring.
No, he's not going to mentor. He's going to be responsible for outputs.
Okay.
So specifically, a staff handbook is an output.
Okay.
Actually writing, he's going to document 4 HR processes for us. That's another output. And then the other one relates to the onboarding process for staff members. That's another output.
Any other questions?
Just one quick comment. In paragraph 4, I just noticed a typographical error. It's not substantive, but it references paragraph 9 in paragraph 4, and it should be 10.
Oh.
That's all. And that's a typographical error my office made, so we'll make sure we swap out that page. It's not substantive, though.
Any other questions or comments? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 12, approval of articles of agreement for craftsmen and teamsters. Dr. Finley.
We have settled on our agreement that goes from January 1 of 2022, so this is retroactive, through December 31st of 2023 for our crafts and our teamsters. We're seeking approval right now from the board to approve this specific contract.
Is there a motion for approval for this agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
For each? For each? I'm going to go out too.
We're actually going to hold a pause real quickly. We have 2 items that, or 2 members that had to step out. So we'll do a 5-minute recess. Can I have a motion to have a recess?
I make the motion, Mayor.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Williams makes a motion to recess. And we have to vote too. So Trustee Williams makes a motion and Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. And roll call.
Roll call. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Gomez? No. Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes.
1 minute.
Off. 1 minute.
1 minute. And counting.
That came out pretty good. I'm serious.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the meeting has been called to order again. We are actually now on the approval of articles of agreement for craftsmen and teamsters. We've had a motion by Trustee Rodriguez and a second by Trustee Williams. We're at the portion of questions. Are there any questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 13, approval of collective bargaining agreement with SEIU Local 73, the custodial unit. Dr. Finley.
We are seeking approval from the board to approve the Local 73 SEIU, our custodial group. Their dates are from January 1st of 2022, which is retroactive, and this contract will go through December 31st of 2026.
Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes the motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. The next item is item 14, approval of Savvy Inc. Is Dr. Finley.
Bishop Noel Institute is requesting that $20,000 of their ESSER funds be used towards their SEL provider that they've chosen. As you're aware, board members, we oversee our non-public schools funds for federal dollars, so this is their request. Anything over $20,000 will be the responsibility of Bishop Noel Institute.
Is there a motion for approval of this agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Brigham.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 15, approval of Lit Camp literature material. Dr. Finley.
As you are listening to our school leaders talk about the data in their school, and you'll hear more about this later from our summer school committee, we want to really address summer school reading, and we need the approval, or we're requesting this approval for our Lit Camp, which is an innovative model which incorporates the whole learning life of the child, including engagement skills and social emotional development. This is a 4 to 8 week Lit Camp program which combines innovative research-based curricula with an engaging and interactive summer camp structure to include fluency, comprehension, and analysis.
Thank you. Is there a motion for approval for the agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Brigham.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 16, approval of disposal of special education equipment / technology. Dr. Finley.
I am actually going to defer to Mr. Ontiveros for items number 16, 17, 18, and 19.
All righty.
He's the man now.
Sorry. I believe I came last school board meetings with the same thing, equipment obsolete that we no longer use in the district.
16 and then 17.
Oh, we're gonna keep going? Okay.
Yeah, just,
I'm sorry. I know, I'm getting the look over here. Number 17, central access point upgrade. I'm asking the board for the recommendation to upgrade all of Central High School's access points. This is all E-rate money.
and number 18.
Sorry. 18, basic maintenance. This is network support for higher end network engineering. You met one of the technicians, Art. His skill set is to a certain level, then we go to the major engineering where we have to outsource some of our equipment. And that's also E-ratable, so 15% comes out of the school district.
And number 19.
Firewall, and again, Art also mentioned that Firewall, how do I explain it? It's for bad people not to come into our school district, in layman's terms.
Alrighty, do I have a motion for approval for agenda item number 16, which is approval of disposal of special education equipment / technology?
Madam President, make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion, and are there any questions?
I just wanted to interject, just for the board's own knowledge and as well. Any of these contracts or all of the ones that we just mentioned have been reviewed by our board attorney.
Thank you. Are there any questions for that item?
I do have one question with regards to item 16.
Trustee Rodriguez.
George, how is the equipment being disposed? Are you working with a firm to properly dispose these equipment?
Yes. Yes, we actually have a group out of Gary that we've been using for the past couple of years, actually longer than that. It is free on their end, where they come and take all the supplies or all our assets, old assets away, and they recycle it, give us a certificate of destruction, so it won't go into the landfill.
Thank you. Trustee Williams?
No, that's my question.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Is there a motion for approval for item number 17, approval of Central High School AP upgrade?
Madam President, make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions for this? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item 18, approval of E-rate basic maintenance. Is there a
Madam
motion?
President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez?
George, you mentioned that it was E-ratable.
Yes.
Okay. Are we using funds, E-rate funds, to help pay for this?
Yes, these three, the last three, 17, 18, 19, are all E-ratable.
Okay.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 19, approval of Central High School firewall renewal. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion
I
for
second that
approval.
motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions for this item? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 20, approval of facility use agreement between School City of East Chicago and Calumet College of St. Joseph. Dr. Finley.
We got it done. We officially have an agreement with Calumet College of St. Joe's to use our facilities as outlined in the agreement that you have. This agreement has been reviewed by our attorney. Just true disclosure as well on here. I'm asking that you approve this. They have submitted certificate of insurance for the high school specifically. In their facility agreement, they have requested to use facilities at the middle school, specifically the fields, when they're available, and they will work around our schedules. And until they send me the middle school certificate, I'm asking that you approve all of this, but just say they can't use the middle school until we receive the actual insurance certificate of liability. That's my request.
Is there a motion for approval of agenda item number 20?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Williams.
I know you said that they will use this according to the schedule of middle school athletics. Do we have a tentative schedule? I know Cal College at one particular time will use the facilities early in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock a.m. I didn't see any time specified in this, so I didn't know if it was a tentative schedule at all in regards to them as far as what time they'll be there. I also know that this facility is used by the public quite a bit in the evening times. I think this is a great thing to enter into an MOU because we have other schools that bring their entire team over to that facility because it's not supervised that as much. So I am asking that we kind of get a schedule so we'll know exactly who's going to be on that field and what time.
Okay. I'm looking at number 2 on here, and they don't have the schedule, and I'm wondering it's because if they're still building it out. Since some of this is new to them, specifically football. I know that for sure, but I know that the other 2, soccer and track, are 2 that have existed for a while. So I will make sure that we coordinate with their athletic director on this piece as far as that's concerned. And then number 8, you're absolutely correct. It does indicate that they will use the indoor track specifically at East Chicago Central High School at 6 a.m. in the morning. So they have specified it for that specific activity and sport that they want to actually partner with us on. So I will make sure, the challenge is we're without an athletic director, so we'll do our best to be able to get a schedule for them to be able to follow and give to the principals at each building.
Thank you.
Dr. Finley, so first and foremost, Ms. Simmons and Dr. Finley, thank you for finally getting this done. The second thing is to add to Trustee Williams, the block field, and I hope we reiterate this to them, while they would, if they would like to have full access to that, they can't. That's a public, and I want to make sure that they know that specifically, so anyone can go and walk as needed, because that is a public place. So I don't know if that was discussed.
I'm the one that met with them, and they're going to work around whatever it is that we need them to do. We have to make sure that we have a schedule, and B, they understand the parameters in which they're working in.
So even if they have a schedule, they cannot kick off the residents from that?
No. Yes.
They can.
They're very specific in here. I want to say there's even an option in here about the concession stands, which is good for our kids. Yep, they have the option to run the concession stands at CCSJ games. So that's a fundraising opportunity for both the middle and the high schools. So they'll get those proceeds. SCEC, as you can see on number 13, says that we will make the final decision on the ability to use the athletic fields at SCEC in the event of poor weather. They're going to collaborate with us. We just have to make sure that we put those expectations out there. And after your approval, I'll make sure that I coordinate and collaborate with our middle school principals as well as our high school principals to make sure that they have a schedule they can adhere to.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
with regards to the insurance, if we can, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but to my understanding, the insurance sunsets 7/1 of 2022. So if we can have an updated insurance, a certificate of insurance to reflect the contract.
Absolutely. So we'll do that for the middle and the high school, because this one that you have is just for the high school.
Any other questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 21, approval of support of the US 12 East Chicago Pedestrian Bridge Project, Resolution 2022-03. Dr. Finley.
This is a resolution that was drafted by our attorney to support, it's a resolution to support the pedestrian bridge at US 12. The city of East Chicago is in the process of, well, they already started, to apply for a grant to be able to help us create a different bridge, because the other one was torn down, so that our students and our staff can create, well, students and their families, and some staff, can cross over the highway without significant harm. I can tell you, Miss Simmons calls me sometimes and she'll say, oh my gosh, these kids are trying to cross the street. And it is a highway. Our kids and our students, and no one should have to cross there. So we're gonna, so we've already sent letters of support on behalf of the district. This is a resolution on behalf of the board to support their project.
Is there a motion for approval of the agenda item?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Just one question. This is,
Trustee Rodriguez.
it's more of a comment, Madam President, but this is actually a great resolution. I know that in the past, we've had some individuals, even prior trustee members who were not in favor in having it torn down, but to have a new bridge to go over 12 and 20, that's definitely great. Definitely great. Thank you.
I agree with you, Trustee Rodriguez. It is important to have this bridge go back up. I know at one point prior, they said when we had a meeting with the team of the bridge, they said that there was actual design showed to some of the school board members as well as council members of a bridge that would take the place of. I'm just glad to see that the actions are actually happening, and more importantly, that they're getting support from the board as well as hopefully the community when this happens. So I do hope that we support this resolution. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to say that in support from the community, we might need your input, and if there's a petition that needs to go out to support this, please, if you see me walking or you see somebody else walking, trying to get this bridge back to get, the support of the community, we're gonna have to all work together to get this, and then this is a budget year that's coming up, so we're gonna have to really all work together as a community, school board, and city in order to get this project back on. So I'm begging the community, we need to work together on this.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Now we'll move to curriculum and instruction. Dr. Finley.
We want to present to you, the board, as well as community, our plans for summer school 2022. I want to say thank you to the committee. These are the committee leaders of this effort. One thing that we have done a lot more this year is we have done things in partnership and in collaboration with our staff, as they are the ones on the ground doing the work. So this committee has worked together and come up with a plan that will hopefully just start and be the foundation of what summer school should look like for years to come. Thank you. And while she's signing in, I'll just introduce to you who the committee members are. We have Dr. Green, who's the principal of McKinley Elementary. We have the assistant principal of Central High School, Miss Lisa Melendez, and we have Mrs. Christina Gutierrez, who's our director of elementary curriculum.
All right, good evening, everyone. Those were our introductions. We want to start off by just giving you a quick informative video of why summer school and plans matter.
Let's look at two children, one from a middle-income family, the other from one of the millions of low-income American families. As the two kids head off to kindergarten, look what happens. The middle-income child starts out with a 6-month lead. The low-income child is already falling behind because of a lack of access to early reading and preschool education. During their year in kindergarten, in the same school and classroom, the two children will learn at about the same rate, so we'll move them both forward 9 months. But look what happens in that first summer between kindergarten and first grade. Our middle-income child moves ahead about a month in reading because learning of one kind or another continues over the summer. The low-income child falls back about 2 months. So when school begins again, when they go back for first grade, the gap between them has already widened. During first grade, again, they move ahead at about the same rate, another 9 months. That next summer, the activities and lifestyle of the middle-income family keep that child moving forward, but the low-income child has fewer opportunities to reinforce good habits like reading, and that child falls farther behind. Then we come to second grade, and again, our two children learn at the same rate. But the summer after second grade sets our low-income child back again, and our middle-income child moves forward again, and the gap widens again. By just the third grade, the two children are already far apart. By the end of fifth grade, the gap between the children is 2.5 to 3 years. It will keep growing through middle school. So you see, without addressing what's happening during the summer, it is impossible to ever catch up. It's impossible to close the gap. No matter how much high-quality learning goes on from September to June, every year the gap widens.
And I felt I neglected it. It's my fault. We have Mrs. Elsie Kyoga, who's also on the team. She's
Let's
the middle
look at
school
two
principal. So I'm going to defer to the team at this time to deliver their presentation.
Okay. Good evening. So just to give you an idea of who exactly is on our committee besides the lovely ladies up here, we do have a wide range of participants, including Rashida Green, who's our elementary principal representative, Lisa Melendez, our high school assistant principal, Rosalinda Martinez and Kim Morris join us in our team initiatives from Human Resources, Tamara Pohl from Special Ed, Michelle Navarro, Technology, Michelle Piskel, the EL Lens, Maria Lopez, counselor, Jennifer Longhofer, our instructional coach, Eloise Nieves, a counselor, Becky Ruki, instructional coach, Linda Randolph, educational consultant, and then myself looking at the lens of curriculum. And then we've also involved, of course, our directors that have transportation, Sodexo facilities, and so on. And so it's important that when we put a committee together that we make sure that we're including all the different types of lenses and how it affects everyone. So I was really excited that we did have a wide range of people. As you know, this is a district-wide initiative, and so we're doing our best to make sure that our students have an equitable and engaging summer. And so with that, we sat and created a vision for what we wanted our summer school program to look like. And so we wanted to make sure that we created an opportunity for all of our students to become more engaged with their learning, to provide various opportunities, and to be academically successful, emotionally strong, and healthy individuals. And that video was very powerful as to how we kind of have to have our ducks in a row and make sense of what we're doing to get our kids more engaged and in the schools during the summertime. From our vision, we were able to create goals. And this was once again with all the lenses of the stakeholders that came to the committee. One goal was for our high school students to have an opportunity to make up multiple classes during the summer session. We had lots of caps on the opportunities for them. So this year we're proud to say that we made that goal come true with a lot of just thinking outside the box. So we are going to offer courses virtually and in person as an option for some of our students. We have partnered with community stakeholders that will give our students extension activities beyond just the academics. We are encouraging that our students have consistent attendance, and so we are very proud to say that we have some really awesome incentives that go along with connections of attendance for our students. We're going to utilize the data for instruction as well as progress monitor. We have Fridays set aside for the team to come back together, that even though summer school is in session, leadership come back, look at the attendance rate, look at how the kids are doing academically, and kind of give us a checkpoint just to monitor what's happening. And then also, I'm proud to say that some of our neighborhood schools will be open for summer school, and that means that's a big deal for our parents to have their own school instead of just being centralized at Central High School. This is the pre-K plan. Ms. Peters will be hosting the pre-K at Gosh, so they'll also have their little area from 9 to 12. She will continue using her Big Day curriculum, and that's a hands-on curriculum that she uses for her preschool students. And then they'll be continuing Conscious Discipline, which is an SEL program that works with our students at a very early age on how to self-regulate and how to express their emotions and how to just communicate with what they're feelings. So the teacher time at the pre-K will be 8:30 to 12:30. We do have a cap for the little ones. The classes will be capped at 20 students. Right now, we would like 2 special ed paras per special ed sections. We want to open up 3 gen ed sections. And then she wanted just to make sure that she will be pushing routines and STEM and gross motor rooms. And then she plans on also joining the elementary with their fun initiatives of the field trips. So they'll be involved in the incentives as well.
Okay, in regards to the elementary summer school plan, summer school will be located at 2 locations, Harrison and Washington Elementary. Our elementary hours are from 8 to 12. In anticipation of student enrollment, we have already identified 20 teachers who will provide instruction. Para support will be contingent on any grade level that has 15 or more students. Busing, breakfast and lunch, grab-and-go services will be provided. In addition, our parents will have an opportunity for the extension program with our community partners. I think you have to use the keyboard.
Where is it? There it is.
The keyboard.
All right. Although I wasn't in the committee, after the committee met came to administration building, we did debriefing at Black School. Every time they met from 1 to 2 or whatever, and we had a little debriefing because, we're all in this together, correct? So that's why I'm here, also to help my committee, of course. So our Block School Summer School Plan. It's going to start, of course, June 6th to June 30th. And we have 8:30 to 12:30. Right now, we have 6 teachers in the middle school, 2, and of course, 2 administrators have to be there, of course. We're going to have the assistance of paras. Hopefully, we'll have more than 10 students per class. Right now, I don't think we have about 10 people already registered. So that's pretty decent so far, and as we just started. So I'm happy. I'm thinking positive, right? Our emphasis on math and English. We are going to have a gym for the 8th graders going to 9th grade. We're going to have at Block, and that's different, and that's nice. I'd like to see the 8th graders. We're going to have transportation. We're going to have breakfast, of course, 8:20, and lunch 12:20. And I was told that Sedesco is going to have a couple of treats on Friday, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I can get some myself. And that's our plan. Thank you. Yay.
Okay, so I represent the high school. So the smallest person up here is gonna give the big plans for high school. Okay, so June 6th to June 30th is our run date. We're gonna run 9 to 1. We're gonna serve lunch and breakfast as well as the kids come in the morning. They can grab a bag, go to class. Our class is gonna run an hour and a half, and then they'll go to the next class. So they'll have the opportunity to earn 2 credits because it's 2 classes. So when class is over at we're gonna have Sedesco there before 1 o'clock, so they can grab their bag and leave for lunch. We're gonna offer all the core classes. So your math, your history, your science, all that's gonna be offered because we're still trying to play catch up. We need these kids to get their credit. So, sorry, it's the teacher in me. I want to walk around the room. To all the core classes will be offered. And then we're going to run Edgenuity for seniors only because we're trying to get them their credit so they can graduate on time. Two of the cool things that we came up with that we're very excited about is one is with the parks. The Greenhouse Initiative with the parks, where they are going to do this from 1 to 2:30. And when I last checked at 4 o'clock, we had 16 kids signed up for the Greenhouse Initiative. So that's really, really exciting that we're going to have that. That fulfills their box 2 on their graduation pathway. So it's a win-win because the greenhouse hopefully they'll be able to do all the schools. They're going to be able to do what is it? I'm missing the word. Thank you. Where they'll be able to do the gardens. Thank you. The gardens. It's all good. The gardens with every school, hopefully. And so they'll do that Monday through Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. It's going to be optional. With with the buses are going to run from every school at 3 o'clock to pick the kids up. So when we're doing these initiatives and kids need to stay after school, the bus will run at 3 o'clock and pick them up and take them home. So that will fulfill box 2 of graduation pathways. The other very cool thing that we are doing is communities in school. We're partnership with them for their freshman academy. So we're going to have 30 students from the 8th grade come on over to the high school, and they're going to be there from 9 to 1, and they're going to get all the necessary tools they need to understand high school and how that rolls. It's going to be a double block, but they will get 1 credit for that. We have 24 teachers signed up so far to do summer school, and when I last checked, when I left at 4 o'clock, we had 114 students signed up for summer school. Wow. So it is doing well. We still want that number. That number still needs to be a little higher, but we're working on it. Virtual instruction at Mentum is the company that we're going to work with. The school city already has a partnership with them, and we're going to use them for the summer. High school students will be allowed to take 2 to 3 classes at Mentum. So when you look at that, they could take 2 classes during the day. They could take 2 more classes at Mentum. They can make up 3 to 4 credits that they're missing. So that's what we're trying to do, make sure that they catch the credits that they lost so we can catch some kids up. And hopefully next year we'll have a lot of kids caught up. So the Mentum class, we're going to start that a week before summer school starts so that way the kids can have 4 weeks with that one. And we've already been in talks with them. They have a teacher that kind of keeps up with them and tells them, hey, come on, let's get going. And then we just monitor. We monitor attendance, we monitor what they're doing if they're not keeping up, and that's our end at Mentum. So that's what the high school has going on. That's what we're doing at the high school. Sounds good. Anything else? Okay, community partners.
Okay, so for community partners, a few weeks ago, we had an opportunity to meet with our community partners. We were able to share out the vision for the summer school program and really establish a collaborative effort to provide a robust instructional opportunity for our students. So as you see listed, we've made actively working on MOUs with Top 20, our East Chicago Public Library, our Boys and Girls Club, Community in School, and then our East Chicago Parks and Recreation Department and Infinity Therapeutic Services. Some of these will be on site, and so we have the East Chicago Public Library, we have Communities in Schools and Infinity, which will run a program from 12 to 3. And like Lisa shared, there is busing and transportation that will be provided for our students. Now, in addition to having enrichment opportunities, we have fun, fabulous Fridays. So this is an incentive for our students for attendance. And so we have already booked and scheduled Lincoln Park Zoo for pre-K to 6th grade, Wicker Park for pre-K to 6th grade, and then we have our superintendent generously have established a day for East Chicago students and staff, any students or staff attending our summer program, to attend Deep River Water Park. So that's going to be exciting. Some of our community partners have kind of branched out and have already provided their own incentives. So we have Jack's Warehouse, AMC Movie Theaters, and Olympia Lanes Bowling with communities and schools. So we're extremely excited about that. But we do want to share out that it is regarding attendance. It is, we're looking for 95% attendance at the elementary and middle school level and 100% attendance with our high schoolers.
They need their credit. They need to come get their credit.
Absolutely, they have to come and get their credits.
Okay, and our last piece of the pie that we want to make sure that we put into effect is, of course, having a reflective piece to make sure that what we're doing this year is effective. And so part of our first reflective piece is that on April 27th is the closeout of the registration for summer school. As a district, we're going to sit and look at our numbers and our enrollment and make sure that we prioritize the kids that we know should be attending high school, and probably making some personal phone calls to families and just notifying them of the advantages for their child to come and either accelerate or catch up with summer school. And so on May 3rd, we know that's an e-learning day, we want to create teams and pods that kind of work with letting our community know the importance and things that we're doing differently, and more importantly, just educate them on where we are as a district and how we're willing to do this program and revamp and get the curricular pieces and do our planning for their kids, because it's all about the kids. And so with that, we will be reflecting on attendance. And then we even have thought to next year of including high school students on our committee, because of course, when you have their voice on the committee, they probably have things that we haven't thought about, or maybe the incentives, they'll be like, boo, we didn't like that one, this would work better. Skating's not up there, I thought about that one. So maybe, but definitely adding. So we're already thinking ahead to how we can reflect on our attendance, the course completion. We'll of course give all of our stakeholders surveys, our students, our teachers, get input from everybody on what we can do, how we can do things better. And of course, we want to make sure that we're effective. So looking at the data from growth, we will be using some data pieces during the summer just to make sure that we are being effective in what we are supplying our kids. So with that, super excited. Everybody get somebody to register with summer school.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Oh, any questions?
Do we have any questions from the board? Trustee
Madam
Gomez.
Madam President, excuse me. So I know they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, and so I'm really glad to see this, because it's not something that I believe we've seen in my time on the board. But I will also say that I'm curious about your growth data. What are you looking at there? How are you going to do that?
Okay, so our beginning point before we start summer school, we all take end of the year assessments. So instead of reassessing our kids when they enter, we already have some good points to notify the teachers as far as how they can use that for differentiation. And it looks different. K-8 has iReady. And so we'll continue using iReady through the summer. So at the end of summer school, there's actually called a test called growth monitoring. So the last time the student took the test, which is the EOI, the end of the year, we'll have that growth monitoring point that will happen the last week of summer school. And that'll be via iReady.
And is there going to be essentially training for the teachers that?
I'm glad you asked. Absolutely. Because we're going with Lit Camp, and there's a big push behind, the innovativeness behind it. Our teachers will be provided a half-day PD with the curriculum. They'll be able to get their hands on it, go through it, ask questions directly with the representative. Yes.
Okay. So, the video was really good as well. And it kind of brings back to me, at least, my change of position from being opposed to a balanced calendar to now being in support of it. What's it going to take? Because, this is a volunteer component. As you mentioned, we have 114 kids here, 20 there, and I'm not
quite convinced yet that, that, I know that you want to grow this, obviously, but, okay, I'm going to stay on the balanced calendar side of things, but I'm just curious, how do you see this working? Because this is a lot of moving parts, to be honest, from my perspective, having the community partners and field trips and the training for teachers, depending on students to actually show up. I just fear that we're going to not have all the students that we need to participate in this. I guess that would be my concern.
No, and you're right, and I think that's why we're trying to be more of the May 3rd, be our in-your-face. We want the parents to have as much information to make an informative decision for their child. And so that means being a little bit more personable with our initiative, and holding those conferences that are necessary, holding those phone calls that are necessary, making appointments, and we've even talked about getting the buses and knocking on doors.
And then is there, how do you feel, is there a potential of having enough students but not enough teachers? I mean, not now necessarily.
There's a strong possibility, and that's our goal. We want
Yeah,
a lot of
of course.
students to attend. And so if that is the case, then we'll launch the application again for more teachers. We've discussed even looking at different communities, trying to recruit teachers to come in to work with our summer program. So we did address or have some forward thinking about this possibility.
Any other questions?
So we just ask that you please put the message out about our summer school program. We would like all of our students to attend. It's been a lot of work. We have some hard and fast deadlines, but we are committed to making sure that our students have the best possible opportunities this summer.
Madam President?
Trustee Williams.
Just one final question. Funding for this, where does this come from?
Our ESSER funds.
Okay, great.
Yes, everything's paid for from ESSER, everything that we're doing this summer.
Thank you.
My one question, I know it's 8 o'clock, so let's get out of here.
Long night.
We talked about, you talked about 3 growth points. I just seen that through everybody that came and gave their synopsis of their goals. So we have the BOY, which is beginning of the year, the MOY, middle of the year, EOY, end of the year. So we will find our growth points, or where you got your growth data here. We will find that in the growth from the end of the year and what you do at the last week of the summer. Did I get that information right?
That is correct. We have the capability through iReady to give these growth checkpoints throughout the year. They're not as utilized as they could be, but what we'll do is it compares it to the last diagnostic.
Okay. From the end of the school year?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. So is that considered SOY? Or y'all ain't give that no acronym, huh?
I'm gonna use that.
Thank you.
And I do want to just give them a round of applause, because this has been a lot of work. And we do, June the 6th is when we're starting. We end school that last Thursday or Friday in May, that last full week. We're taking that whole week to train our teachers, because we didn't want to end school and jump right into summer school. We wanted to give ourselves a week to get organized, get our training, get our materials in order, and then we launch in the following week. So they've done a great job, so thank you so much to the entire committee.
You have. I want to add one more component, and I'm sorry, but I have an athletic mind. I noticed that your committee didn't have, I ain't gonna say you didn't include anyone from the athletic department or athletics. I know athletics is a huge component in the city of East Chicago, and I know you'll probably get some of that with Trustee Hernandez Orange in Parks and Recreation, but I really think that some of those things are attention grabbers for kids that want to participate. And whatever we have to do to get them to gravitate to come into summer school, if it's a camp at the end of a soccer camp or a basketball camp or a tennis component, something that's going to grab and gravitate. I know George introduced to us the
Esports.
Those are components that grasp kids, and then they don't not saying necessarily think that they come in, that they only learning or only going back to school again, but they also have some with those fun components that are added to those. So I think that's something in the future that we can definitely build on as well.
So to add,
Thank you.
I have to interrupt and interject, Trustee Williams. I have to say that in the Parks and Recreation Department, we are planning to do just all of our sports camps after summer school's done, because I do understand the importance of having summer school, and I think it's important that we are able to collaborate so that we could work together. Again, the schools come from play. Your first teacher is play. So understanding that and knowing that responsibility, it was important for one, to have the East Chicago Parks and Recreation Department give another outlet to our summer school, which at the end of this summer school program, we'll end up receiving some interns, and we're going to pay them for them participating further for the greenhouse, and we received a grant from that. Second thing is we wanted to make sure to have the play and the sports, so that's why we're going to make sure that our sports programs will be after school hours, and like last year, we're going to combine with our high school coaches, again, to have that feeder program system so that we could hopefully keep those kids in East Chicago from a small age to the older age. So thank you for collaborating. And I know I'm in a different position, but I think collaborating with all community partners, being able to open up, this is the first time, honestly, I feel like we've opened up and let people come into our school district and be part of the solution to the problem. So thank you guys all for that. Are there any more questions? Next, we'll move to superintendent's remarks.
I don't have any, but I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you. Oh, yes, I do. I got one as I sit here and look. I do have one. Block has an enchanted backpack. We are number 4 for our children. Everyone, okay, we have our number 4. We have another one coming. So also when you see the trucks out there, Trustee Williams, just know that the fun is coming to your neighborhood. It's on April the 28th at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you guys can get out to support Block Middle School for their enchanted backpack delivery, $40,000+ worth of material supplies, all this other fun stuff. So kudos to the team at Block Middle School.
April 28th?
Yes. 10 o'clock.
You'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah, they've been.
Like, jump off of that. Are there any trustee remarks?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
I'm not going to be long. I just want to let you all know, I see a trend coming with the free lunches and the breakfast. Vermont, the legislation is trying to pass that. And we can't have that. If one state pass it, then it's going to be a trend. So they're thinking about cutting it out. I think that last year be 2023. So with the ISBA and the communities and everybody in Indiana, you know they're going to bring it forth. So we need to start preparing because we cannot afford to have our children be hungry. So I've been watching, and if it passes in one state, trust me, it's going to trickle down. So we need to be very aware of what's going to happen in the next year with legislation. And that's it for me.
Are there any other trustee remarks? Trustee Gomez.
I know we received our accounts payable vouchers. I still haven't, gotten a response to my question about having 2 meetings in the same day and how that's treated. I think we've been at this for a couple months now.
So that is something that we did. I know Ms. Simmons did inquire about that as a result of your question. I think I gave you my initial feedback, but said, hey, I would defer to State Board of Accounts as to what their opinion was. And of course, their response back was about as clear as mud, And that's the reason you don't still have an answer to that question. Now, I can follow up with them and kind of press them for a more definite answer, but I think they were intentionally evasive, that if you want more clarity, you need to clarify the board's own policy as opposed to looking for them for guidance. It was pretty clear they didn't want to provide it.
Actually, within their email, they said that basically it is our legal responsibility in our policies to say what is being paid out per meeting. So at this point, it is, State Board of Accounts is not going to step in on this. They're telling us basically it's our legal side to where we want it. And that was given to us, I think, about a week ago. Am I correct, Dr. Finley? Yes.
So my recommendation would be to bring that up in the policy committee meeting so that we can clarify it further and address the
appreciate it.
concern.
Thank you.
Any other trustee remarks? I do have three.
Oh, Lord.
The first one is a superintendent update, and just stating that we ended up meeting last week with the superintendent search team, and that was just to discuss possible candidates. And we will be meeting as a board on April 22nd, and that is to further review who we would like to interview, as well as discuss the interview dates. We've been in contact with the superintendent search team to make sure that all candidates know that we are in the process of giving them dates for interviews. The next thing is the public meetings, as well as regular executive board work sessions. We have great news. We're all in person. So we are fully open, and we did not pass any policy stating that we could have Zoom meetings. We're going to be just like the kids, or the children. They're in person. We're in person. Attendance matters, right? That's what we preach. We will be as dedicated as students to attendance for in-person as they are. And finally, my last note will be happy birthday, Dr. Finley. Thanks for staying with us until 8:15 p.m. I hope you get to enjoy soon. And now we move to public forum.
We got one person. And I think Ms. Linda Randolph kind of know the rules too.
I was just going to say that. I think Ms. Randolph knows the rules, but just for the record, please state your name, limit your comment to 3 minutes, and please be respectful to the board, the staff, and the public.
Thanks. Linda Randolph, 4437 Alder Street. Thank you, Madam President. I was going to make sure we said happy birthday to our wonderful leader. She looks half of 50, but I know she works so hard she feels half of 100. I did want to remind everybody that our children are going into some very serious testing. All tests are serious, but this will be the one that will be spread throughout to tell how well we did as a district. So I want to say, first of all, thank you to our administrators, principals, and teachers, because they step up. We talk about what's in a contract and what isn't. I'm watching teachers going by all these little incentives, begging the children to come, please do this, please do that. Everybody's running to Walmart and everywhere trying to get those things to motivate our babies. So this is the testing week. And if you haven't adopted a classroom or a school, I'm sure that those principals would appreciate any help. And especially I want to say to parents, make sure our babies are well rested. Don't fuss at them this week. Build them up, make them strong, and I know that they can do if we really encourage them and assist them. And thank you also, Madam President, for the update regarding the superintendent search. I'm in the community a lot, and people ask me questions. I don't know how many, when, where, or what. But at some point, I think there's an obligation to the community to communicate something. And as we go forward, one thing that I've appreciated from Superintendent Finley is that she has tried to build a community of people that are involved. So I would urge you to, at some point, have the administrators and principals part of the process, however you want to work it out. I have ideas, so. But anyway, and when you narrow it down, consider Chicago style. We did LSC forums when we were picking important positions such as principal. Narrowed it down to 3 people, came to a forum, you guys ask the questions, community get a chance to get a feel of the people. And I'll close with this. Once I was hiring an engineer, I had to partner with the high school and the middle school. And we had all these interviews, and that one candidate looked so good. But hands-on, Linda Randolph said, let's go to the schools that he's supervising right now. And when we went to the building, the most humble, the least effective in the interview session had beautiful buildings, and that's what we picked. So you have to make interviews at next level. Go to the community, look at the data. We keep telling administrators, data dig, you guys data dig. Take a look at where they worked, what was their capacity? Are they coming from an urban setting? How well did those schools do? Talk to NAACP, Latino groups, pastors, get a feel of what they were about wherever they come from. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is a date and time for our next meeting, which will be on May 2nd, and they'll be here at 6 p.m. Can I have a motion for adjournment? Trustee Williams makes a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Ms. Brigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Chairman Hernandez Orange?
Yes.